exactly the same thing and it would work. So the abstraction, like, it's a tiny abstraction on entity replacer, and you could create as many Trumpanizes, Obamamizes, like whatever classes you want to do, and just using this, the entity replacer, and you just call it there. Another pretty cool thing is that, like, at least at NomNom, given up the way we test stuff, we would probably only test entity replacer, and that would be good enough for us. So I think it's another advantage. And again, you can just pass an argument, and you don't have to like go crazy with your test. You just pass an argument, and you get a result back. And that, for me, it's pretty cool. This cool. So sorry, I had to. Okay. So okay, on recap. Oh, sorry. Okay, there you go. Callable and pure function as objects is one of the patterns, and for me I think it's super easy to get your head around it, and it will help you to keep less state on your head. Avoiding mutation, especially, it's also a good thing. Like, you try to return new objects, because if you have an each and concurrent, it will make your life hard to have state, to have a mutation, and if you avoid it, like, it will pay off on the long term. Take advantage of proc and its functional API. As you could see with Entity Replacer, it gets super easy to actually just create new stuff using, like, especially curry and stuff like that. I think composition is pretty neat. Like, that's the first time that I remember. I remember the first time I actually used composition. I remember my calculus classes, and like the function composition for me was like, okay, it's just calling the functions, and suddenly it kicked in like, okay, this is pretty cool. That for me was like the only time I actually got interested in my calculus classes for some reason. So keep OO when needed, because like OO is not bad. Like, I'm not a fundamentalist of functional programming. I just think it's helpful sometimes. Keep your OO for everything else, because Ruby is mostly object oriented, and you should keep with that. And that's super fine. So thanks. I don't know, questions? Or?
Yeah.
I went a bit over it. So.
No problem.
No, all good.
But just how do you like? So one of the patterns, like accessing two of the class variables, kind of accessing state directly by calling the class itself. Have you guys thought about any way of abstracting that? I think slide 10.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Was like the replacement if there's two variables most of the slide?
Previously, I think. Jesus, I'm getting. Probably not. So basically, I think you were accessing two of the article one of the classes, like accessing two of the
variables from
variables. Yeah. Like you have two sets, and then you access it directly by calling the class. Have you guys thought about any way of like abstracting that a bit? Did you actually check kind of accessing state, not by passing a message, but calling the thing?
If I understood it correctly, like one of the things that you can do nowadays on Ruby is actually to use the call safe. The operator has some name.
Safe navigator.
Safe
navigation.
Safe navigation. That's one solution. For us, it's easier because we kind of do this like when we get an object. It's not that necessary. If we have hash, we don't use dig, but we protect ourselves. And another thing is that we are super biased with clojure, where you just get an immutable structure. So it's like a persistent data structure where you can do whatever you want. So yeah, that may be something to worry about, but at the same time, if like I said, like if you don't, because imagine if article was an active record object, so the stuff gets more hairy. And again, like I am not against keeping the common behavior of, for example, Rails, and so I think yeah, we probably need to think about it, or we should at least, but for us it's not being a problem so far.
No, I'm just wondering if you guys ever fell into any kind of problem because of that, like, because then if you kind of, instead of single string that you can freeze, then you can start thinking about different things like.
Oh yeah, that's actually I forgot to mention, because that's actually one big problem, that like Ruby and deep freezes, which would be one solution. It's like complicated. Like on that same, like I need to get some links on this talk, because I forgot to add the references in the end. But on that talk between, again, Koishi, there's Matsumoto and Aaron, they are talking about that, because they will need that for guilds, because guild objects should not like be shared by other guilds. So they are trying. I think they are trying the whole message passing pattern there.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hard one. There's some gems that do that. I think Amster or something like that. Not Amster.
It's like that's for immutables. That is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time it doesn't do deep freeze. The deep freeze is another one. But yeah, Amster I think it might be so. Because again we don't use it. We use this. That's it. Like we are well behaved while writing code most of the time. So I think it's like it's not. Like it's not always good. Like sometimes we have one piece of code that I almost got here just to show you that sometimes it can get super messy and there's no way this is going to help you. But yeah, most of the time, especially imagine adding logging here or metric references. Like this is the pretty version. There's the uglier one, which also works and also keeps you happier at the end of the day because you just need to know what the function is doing. That's it.
And one question, you spoke about the inheritance and how you preferred you had your reasons like with the size of the team to use inheritance over mixings over the example you gave. But at the end of the day, my question is, do you use this pattern just for like your services or also for your models? Pretty much for everything?
No, that's the thing. Like models, there's not much we can do because let me just go really back. So, yeah. Okay, as you can see here, like that document star, that's where our models are. We do use some models like on its like pure sense, like active record models and like value objects that for me are also part of the model, I think for everyone. But basically, most of our model handling is done there. So just to clear that out, so most of what we do can be done like this because we are just calling a function for the loop. For example, we started with the repo pattern, we then changed it, but we basically would pass an entity inside the repo, and if you would call like these microservices, we wouldn't know. So that was how we were dealing with it. But we also have parts where we are dealing with, again, active record. And that's super fine. Like you just need to be careful how you handle it because, like for example, stuff like updating the model. If you are creating a lot of them, like it behaves most of the times okay, but after active record sometimes can be a bit tricky. So the whole part of inheritance, just to try to answer because I'm expanding too much. Basically, like we chose inheritance like. At the beginning it was like biased, so there's the inheritance and that's it, we didn't talk about it. And then when the team grew a little, because we are still just 4 engineers, it just kept working for us, so we kept it there. Like there's no better way to answer that than this. Like,
okay. Yeah. So to be totally honest, like I don't get in sync with the reason for like your choice, but it's your choice.
Yeah.
But my point is like, of course. So if you have models and you're using active record, I'm assuming you are, since Ruby doesn't support multiple inheritance, like you don't use this for models. You just use this for like your service objects, right?
Yeah, mostly. Like when we, for example, if you have to do an update attributes, like it kind of behaves. If you look about it, like it acts as a repo too, because you just pass. If everything else is like processing arguments, and in the end you just call update attributes. Even like, yeah, the bank method in this case is not a good example because it's just raising the exception, but still, like in the end, like that. When you get to active record, you can forget about this, but it's kind of encapsulated for you, so you can still do it. And I think we would be able to, given our current domain model, because again, this depends a lot on the domain model. So we would be able to do it mostly until the active record layer, where like again it's encapsulated, but it's still happening stuff inside it. Like you can do anything. Thanks. That all?
Just one quick one. Did you use this as a starting point to experiment with functional paradigm, or is this a long-term solution for you? And
no.
If so, why using this and not natural?
So we already had some stuff that made this easy for us. So like we were Java-ish in that sense because we already had like our controllers would simply call this handler class, that handler are like basically, for us at least, I don't know if it's the right name, but it's handling data, so it's okay. You would just call multiple services, and those services would be like atomic in a way. They would have a single responsibility, and that's it. So if you wanted to do multiple stuff, which you usually want, you would use an handler that would call multiple services. The first thing that we got rid of was actually callbacks on Active Record because we hated those. So we just had services there. So we had like a big structure. And we were already using the call, for example, because from what we read about services, it was there already. So when we started to write Clojure, we looked at it and it's like, it was like not an actual discussion. It started to happen. Like, for example, that discussion on the call and the new, I'm actually the one that were defending the new. And nowadays I'm like, why? Like, it makes more sense just to call a method and that's it. So basically this is evolving as we write more Clojure, but again, we are not against OO at any level. Our Rails app is now smaller so we can experiment faster. Still like a lot of namespaces, but basically it was Clojure that brought this into Rails. We're good?
I think we're good.
Thank you.
So now there's a 15-minute break, something like that. We'll get everything set up, there'll be pieces, I hope. And so is that all in your set?
Agora que se pode falar, eu também pensava assim, agora que reparei que eu já não penso assim, porque a nossa profissão há muita comunicação necessária, nós temos que dar proxy em todas as coisas, e aí qualquer coisa começa a ter, e faz sentido. Eu acho que vai acabar por ser, nós agora estamos numa fase de transição, quando chegarmos ao ponto, ok, vamos utilizar isto, e vai começar a ser muitos caminhos a ser investigados para entrar no nosso modelo que está por baixo. Quando isto tudo acabar, eu devia passar a ser mesmo só uma basicamente, total proxy sério.